The guy came to get the trash, and when he came to get the trash, he realized there was too much trash, so he left it all there and drove away. I'm thinking he might be coming back with a bigger piece of equipment to gather all my hay bags. I had a whole bunch of hay bags that every morning we come in here and we rake up everything. We take all this stuff, all the poopies, and we put it inside of the trash bags right over here. And the guy came to pick it up, and he went to pick up one bag and realized, well, I'm never going to fit it all, so he decided to drive away. Look at that. My goats are so pretty. I may be biased, but I do believe my goats are pretty. They're prettier than other goats. I got some really good colors. Georgie, what's up, buddy? Georgie. Say hello. Hi, Tammy. How's everyone doing? Good morning. Welcome. I was not live this morning. My wife was live from the farm. She's doing the best she can. I commend her for that. We tried to shift everybody over this morning to Hope Ministries. Apparently, Mark was having technical difficulties connecting to the internet and staying connected. So, Mark plans to go live at 11:11 CST, Central Standard Time. So, if you guys want to try, since it failed this morning, to go over and watch at 11:11, he will give it another attempt. Here's the story. Lori, his wife, is here helping us on the farm and during the event. So Lori is actually not there to help him get squared away. He's a little technologically impaired, I suppose you would say. But he'll get it all figured out. I can only imagine how frustrating it is when you have hundreds of people waiting to watch you and go live and you can't connect. I can relate to that, Mark. So if you're watching, it's okay. Take a deep breath. Throw your phone on the floor. Jump on it a few times, and then go get a new one. And then wait till your wife gets home, because she'll get it all figured out. But no, if you can get somebody at your church to help you at 11:11 Central Standard Time, I'm sure you're going to get some people to watch you. So, sorry about your technical difficulties this morning. I have a real reason. That I'm actually going live. Something that has been eating away at me. Two things that are eating away at me pretty hard. And I'm by no means, guys, am trying to keep anything from you guys. I am not trying to keep anything from my followers. I do not keep secrets. Everything is out in the light, and I let you all know everything that's going on. I am, however, lately trying to do some more pre-recorded videos. So even though this information I'm about to tell you has not been released on any videos, I have recorded some of the footage, and I was trying to put it into a long format video so I could actually upload it to other platforms as well and share it with the world. But then life gets crazy and in the way, and the goats always need attention, and things need to be taken care of, and I don't get time to edit as much as I want to. In fact, if I edited everything I wanted to edit all the time, well, I would never sleep. The other day I made that footage of the storm blowing through here. I didn't get back to the house till midnight-ish, and I stayed up till 1:30-ish editing the video, and then I was up at 5, out the door by 6, and here at the fair. So it's not feasible for me to go ahead and edit everything. I just can't. but I had very good intentions to share it with you guys. It was just going to be a little delayed because I was trying to capture some more footage and put the story together into one nice cohesive film that y'all could watch. But I don't know if that's going to happen. So because of the fact that I haven't shared it live with you guys, I haven't shared any of this information live with you guys, it makes me feel like I'm keeping something from you. And I am, because yesterday I knew about this stuff, and the day before. And I wasn't able to say it because I didn't want to spoil a video that I was working on, which I don't think I'm going to get to. So, I have some things I need to get off my chest, and I need to tell you guys. There has been another loss on the farm, and no, it was not the turkey, or the chicken, or whatever animal got out last night, and there's feathers. But I'm going to go back and look at that footage. But no, there has been another loss on the farm, and it breaks my heart. And I am not crying right now. I have had my time to grieve. I've had my time to grieve, and still trying to process what's going on. So, y'all know who Megan Beers is, right? Megan is a farm follower. Megan is one of our big-time helpers. She comes over to the farm a lot. She actually had some surgery on her eyes recently, but she comes to the farm quite frequently to hang out with the goats and get her goat therapy on. And the other night during the crazy storm that we had going on, Murph texted me and said, "Jay, call me." Well, that's never a good sign when you say, "Jay, call me." So and if you're wondering what this is all about and need to catch up on a few things, go ahead and I did enable the live rewind, so you can hop back and go ahead and watch it from the beginning to catch up. But I just have to get some things off my chest. So yeah, he called me during the middle, right before the blast of wind came through and took out my tents. I was on the phone with Murph. He said, "Megan's here, and there's a goat that's not doing so well. He got headbutted." And I'm thinking to myself, well, to my knowledge, I've never had a goat, not actual factual. Hi, Megan. Megan's here. So she is the one who alerted us to this whole situation. But actual factual, never ever know for sure 100% that I've lost goats to headbutting. I did lose a goat, Sherlock, right? I think it was Sherlock's. No, Winston and Holmes, Watson and Holmes. Man, there's been so many goats, but there was one goat that just apparently for no reason was not responsive. This is not the goat we're talking about right now. This happened months ago, and after finding that goat and assessing its body, we did determine that like the right front shoulder was broken or dislocated, almost like, and that was the moment in time that we introduced all of the young goats to the adult goats, and there was a lot of chaos and a lot of headbutting, a lot of food aggression happening when we did the first transition together. So in my gut, I feel like he did have some internal injuries. Okay. So the other day, let me get back to it. Megan was at the farm getting her goat snuggles on like she always does, and out of the corner of her eye she saw a large goat come down and hit a small goat extremely hard, so hard that the goat, she told me, these are her words exactly, that it rolled over like a cartoon character with its legs up in the air and could not get up. She saw this happen. Immediately went over there, and the dogs came over trying to aid in the situation and help out and say, hey, what's going on? The dogs are very lovey-dovey towards the goats. These are their people. So So, the goat in question, unfortunately, is so sad because every one of these goats that we got from the one farm seemed like they had a fighting chance when they came to us. We got a series of 5 goats. We got Jameson, we got Scrabble, we got Lucky, who passed away because of eating the leaves. We had French Toast, who we didn't catch the coccidia in time. Then we had TJ, who was the last one who I had been treating for coccidia, and he was witnessed by Jeff, by Murph, and by myself and Megan the same day, that morning, walking around, eating hay, pooping, normal poops, no diarrhea, everything seemed to be fine. So, unfortunately, because I believe he was the smallest or the weakest, one of the larger goats decided to have a little aggression towards him and headbutt him and roll him across the rocks or wherever he was, and he couldn't get up. They obviously reached out to me immediately, and I was in the middle of dealing with tents flying away, dealing with our stand being bombarded by a storm, and I was not able to just hop in the car and drive. And Jeff had just left there, and he was here outside in the parking lot trying to get in with Oreo. I know. So I told her to basically check his temperature, see if his vitals were dropping, see if he wasn't very responsive, she said, after that. From the moment he got hit, he wasn't opening his eyes. He was very lethargic and just not able to get up. And ultimately, because I'm an hour and a half away from the farm, everyone was here, my wife was here, we were buttoning down the hatches. There was not much that could be done over on that end. And I told her just to comfort him. I said just hold him and comfort him and watch him. Try to get him to drink. But ultimately he succumbed to his injuries. I do believe that he was, because he came from the farm that had the issues with the parasite load. So if you guys want to see, before I move on, I'm going to show you guys the last 2 remaining goats from that herd, and they are indeed very strong and healthy goats. The other 3, I should have known better. I should have known better and not tried to take on a charity case. I need to do better selection on when we acquire goats, because the heartbreak of losing them is just too strong. And I've known that little TJ passed away since Tuesday evening. No, not Tuesday evening, sorry. The evening of the storm, so 2 nights ago. And I feel like I was just lying to you guys, even though I was trying to come up with some sort of content to release in a video. It was weighing on my chest and I had to get it out. And that is the point of this video. I have to tell you guys, I have to tell you, it's hard to move on. It's hard to move on and just act like nothing's going on. But when indeed something is going on. So, TJ has now passed along with the other 2 from that farm, and he's at rest. He's at rest. So, okay, that's number 1. That's number 1. Number 2. Number 2 in what I have to tell you that I've known since yesterday morning, and again, I have been recording some of the content, but let me get to Jameson and Scrabble first and let you all know how well they're doing. So Jameson and Scrabble are the other 2. So here's Scrabble. You see him? We call him Scrabble because he has the very cool pattern on his back, very patchy. So he came from that farm. I got to tell you, all the goats that are here physically with me, I've been getting up every morning when I get over here before 7, 6:30, 6:45. I'm over here checking them. I'm here until midnight these goats here are getting so much medical attention. Okay, we're checking temperatures, we're checking Formanchas, we're looking at poops, we're checking their diet. Everybody here 100% has our attention. In fact, during the day, there's a lot of times I don't get to run the register or actually interact with the customers because I'm in the trailer, I'm checking goats, I'm just making sure everyone's all right. So, because that's just me. So, Scrabble right here, he's over eating his minerals right now, is doing superb, okay? And then here's Jameson. And in fact, these are the two goats that escaped the one time. And here's Mr. Jameson. How you doing, buddy? Their temperatures are fine, their fecals are fine, everything is good with these two. So I just want to put your minds at rest that the remaining two from the 5 that came from that farm are doing great, okay? They are doing great, and there is no concerns, okay? So, that will bring me to my next point, is that because we are here checking the goats, making sure everyone is healthy and good, and if they're not, if there's something even, minutely wrong, we are isolating them over on the other side, giving them timeouts or breaks. So, for example, on that side of the fence, I have some of the goats that either have a little more crusties in the eyes. That one there maybe has some stress diarrhea. I have to go look at the name, but we have a book. We have a full book. We have all the names. We have all the temperatures that we took for the goats. We have what medical treatments we've given them. And I'm not going to put my goats in any danger or harm's way. So during the regular goat snuggling event, there are nothing but healthy, strong goats hanging out over here. I'll let you know too that the attendance here is nowhere near overwhelming at all. There's never been a line. There's at max maybe 20, 25 people in here at a time, and we have 56 goats here at the fair, so the stress level is not intense on these goats. We have fans everywhere keeping the circulation going. We have fresh hay, and we have fresh water with apple cider vinegar in there, so everything is pretty good. Okay, so gonna move on to the next piece of information that I have been holding on to since yesterday morning. As we were doing, this was 3 days ago, as we were doing our routine checks with the goats, we noticed that Leilani was not doing good. Now, Leilani is not dead, guys. She did not pass away. Leilani is with us still. But I had to make a drastic decision. Because I don't want to lose any more goats anymore. I just cannot lose any more goats. So, Leilani was kind of just sitting there, not really doing much. And of course, a goat just sits there is obviously something's wrong. So we isolated her immediately and checked her temperature, and her temperature was fine. But then I got to the Formancha. And the Formancha is when you lift your eyelid up like this, or not your eyelid, but you lift the goat's eyelid up. And there's a scorecard. And you look at the Formancha scorecard, and it's a level 1 through 5. Okay, 1 is a nice red under part of the eyelid, and a number 5 is the worst case. It's when it's white, and that basically is their red blood count, the red blood cell count. That's how you can determine if a goat is anemic. If a goat is anemic, typically it's parasites, but there are many other factors that can cause anemia in a goat. So the Formancha check is something I do fairly often, always just checking to make sure that their blood count is good. I'm going to tell you, Leilani's was ghost white. Oh, and it wasn't white. It wasn't ghost white that day. The day that we isolated her, I don't think I actually checked the Formancha, but so that was 3 days ago. We isolated her, checked her Formancha the next day, because she wasn't improving, and I need to investigate a little bit further to see what I need to do. I gave her red cell. I gave her a whole list of stuff because I am essentially my own vet unless it comes to emergencies. If it's something I cannot fix, I have no problem surrendering my goat and my money right along to the vet's office. That's fine. I want my animals to come first. So I have a pretty good knowledge base at this point about goat illnesses and health issues. So when I did notice that her Formancha was low, I immediately started treating for the appropriate things. I let her ride overnight until yesterday. And yesterday morning, I got up super early and I came here because all that was in my mind is I need to go just make sure Leilani's fine. I need to check on Leilani. And when I got here, she was still pale Formancha, but she would eat for me and she drank for me. And then I put her in the grass over here, and Jeff came here early too. Jeff and I fed her clovers and grass, and she actually seemed okay, but I don't want to lose any more goats. I don't want to lose any more goats. So I got on the phone with Quakertown Veterinary Services, Veterinary Hospital, and I told them the symptoms. I told them what we were experiencing, and she said the only thing that I did not do correctly, which I think any farmer, unless you hear this from your vet or learn it somewhere else, did wrong, was that when I dewormed her, they told me I was supposed to use 10 times the dosage on the bottle. I've never heard that until yesterday morning. But she said it would be ineffective. If their Formancha is pale, you have to use 10 times the dosage in order to wipe out any parasite, if the anemia is coming from parasites. But I did everything else correctly. I asked her what the next steps would be. I said, what else can we do for her? I can't lose this goat. She said the next thing is a blood transfusion. So they would take the blood from another goat and they would actually put it inside of her body to get her red blood cell count up through the roof. They said we would need a donor goat if we did that. I didn't hang up the phone call. I processed everything in my mind for a couple minutes, and I said, let's do that. Let's do the blood transfusion. I don't care about cost. I am very, very busy. I'm a very busy man. I mean, I have all of these goats here. I have all the stuff at the farm. We have the business to run. We have phone calls. We have kids. We have... It's a lot. We have a lot. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to give her a blood transfusion or the attention to keep boosting her with some sort of minerals to try to get her up. So yesterday morning, Jeff loaded up Leilani and Joelle. If you haven't seen Joelle around here, that's because Joelle was going to be the donor. We wanted Joelle to be the blood donor for Leilani. They said, do you have a good, healthy goat? Check the eyes. And it was like, well, Joelle is bigger. She's the only one here that can go along for the ride, and her eyes were good, and she's healthy. So we sent Joelle and Leilani off to Quakertown Animal Hospital for a blood transfusion yesterday. And she's been there since yesterday, and I had, let's see, the update I got from the vet last night was that the transfusion was still going on very slowly because there was a chance, first, there was a chance she could reject it. There was a chance she could die. But she didn't, so far, and I have not heard from them this morning. But Joelle, unfortunately, as much as I wanted her to be the saving grace for Leilani, she unfortunately just wasn't big enough to give that much blood away. So they actually had another donor goat there. I don't know who or how or what, but they used another donor goat, and Jeff brought Joelle back to the farm, and Leilani stayed there at the hospital. Her red blood cell count, so goats in general should be around 25% when they look at the blood under the microscope or test it. However, it should be around 25%. and that is the normal range. Now, when they tested Joelle, her blood count was 7%, and that is life-threatening and critical. So that confirms I made the right decision, obviously, to get her there. She was not so much to the point where she wasn't eating, because she was eating, or drinking, because she was drinking, or standing, because she could stand. She wasn't that far gone. Okay, so she's... And the funny thing is, and it's not funny, nothing's funny with this whole situation, is that she's a meaty goat. She's a meaty goat, meaning she's got some beef on her. Like, she's been eating healthy. She has the appearance of a very healthy goat, in my eyes, compared to some of the other goats, hens that we got from other farms that really have some problems putting on weight. So this whole thing with goats and caring for goats and being their shepherd, it's hard. It's a lot to take on. But this is my life now. This is what we chose to do, and I'm going to do everything I can in my power to make sure that my goats live. But there are times that it's out of my power, it's out of my control, and I can't do anything about it. And then there's times that I have to make the hard choice and just say, yeah, do the blood transfusion and or do whatever. But all of that right there, the TJ thing and Leilani, has been weighing down on me because I've known about it and I've had to go live and I've had to talk to you guys and I had to put on a happy face and I had to kind of just move on, knowing that I knew these two things and I couldn't do it anymore. I'm over here this morning and I raked up all of this is all the hay that I took out of here with all their poopies this morning. So I raked it all up, I fed the goats, I got them some water, I checked all of the ones that I had to check, and as I'm raking away, and I just hear the buzzing of the fans in the background and looking at the goats, I couldn't keep the secret any longer. And again, if you know, I wasn't trying to keep a secret. I was trying to make the content recorded and then uploaded. But it's very hard to get the emotion across sometimes and the feeling and the point across in a pre-recorded video. So here I am now telling you guys that we lost TJ and we need prayers. We need prayers for Leilani. And as soon as I'm done with this live, I am hopping on the phone with the vet because I'm dying to know how she's doing. I really want to know how she's doing. I want to know where her levels are, what the next steps are, what the plan is. So that's it, guys. That's all I've got to say. I appreciate everybody's support. Mindy Moo put up a little fundraiser for our tents that got destroyed. We had our tents get blown up and the wind just cracked all the frames. And I told Jeff, we folded them up as best as we could, and I said, Jeff, one day we're gonna sit down and we're gonna fix these. We're gonna fix these fences. We're gonna these tents. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna figure it out. Well, before the day was even over, Mindy had the fundraiser together, and we raised more than enough money to buy pop-up tents. So now we have a little cushion of funds for pop-up tents for when things like this happen. We obviously are going to be more cautious and listen to the weatherman and heed the warnings of the megaphone that came over the fair. The fair had warned us about the impending storm, and I didn't believe it because when we had looked at the radar earlier, it was north of us. It wasn't going to hit us, and I hadn't checked it sooner, but I will be more careful with my own stuff. Granted, I bought those tents with my own money. Thank you, Angela, for the stars. I appreciate that. But considering now that you guys have donated to a tent fund, thank you so much. We really didn't need that, Mindy. We could have bought some tents ourselves. But I do appreciate the support and love that you guys keep sending the farm. You keep on amazing me every day with just how many people are watching, how many people tune in, and the comments, and the upright. Wait, why did I say upright? Because you said upright. Oh my gosh, this is how I glanced down and I took a word off of the screen. I try not to read comments because it makes me get distracted, unless I want to read comments. But we were going to take care of our property and heed the warnings of the weatherman, and hopefully not lose any more tents. But in gusts of winds, there's going to be things that happen. So, yes, we need a barn, and that's one reason we're here, guys. This is what we're doing. We are here at the York State Fair doing baby goat snuggling because we're taking the money, minus expenses, of course, and we're saving up for a barn. We're saving up for that barn. We are in the works for the barn, and that will be a whole nother conversation for another day, okay? Whole nother day. But we will get there. I just had to share this information with you. So prayers are needed for Leilani. Margot! Polo! Margot! Polo! Margot! Polo! Margot! Polo! Oh my gosh. Oh! Alright, the followers... Joel's fine. Joel just went. Okay, apparently the followers asked Mindy to do it. So she's also got the biggest heart that she would have done it anyways, even if you guys didn't ask. But Joel's fine. She didn't end up donating the blood. So I gotta run, guys. I gotta run. I got some more stuff to do. I do not think today is the last day of the fair. I do not think we're going to set up a whole bunch of merchandise. Maybe we'll throw a few t-shirts and cups on the table, but merchandise area is too subjective to the weather, the wind. Things keep falling over if it rains. I didn't actually get a chance to go out and buy the tents to protect all the merchandise. So merch area... And we only did like maybe $100 in merchandise yesterday. So not quite worth it when the rain can destroy $1,000 of merchandise within a second. So we're good. We're good. We love you guys. Did you see Murph, I think, blood on his head from a headbutt? Yes, Patty. Murph had blood on his head from a headbutt at the farm this morning on the 7-Eleven. So... I love you guys again, and thank you so much. I'll see you guys a little bit later. Hopefully we can do a final hoorah, final live here at the York State Fair with the baby goat snuggling, and we'll see you guys later, okay? And of course, there's Hope over there, chomping away.